I am a slow learner. You may be seated in the house of our Lord. Bet you never heard it like that. Come on now. I am a slow learner. The feeding of the multitudes are at the top of the New Testament era after the resurrection of Jesus. Slow learner is a term used for those who are currently enrolled in class but the struggle. The good thing is at least they are still in class. All right. Which means that they are still actively learning. They have terms that are used for those who are not participating in active learning. Those who drop out, cut class, shoot hooky, suspended, expelled. These are they who are no longer participating in active learning. If the church is the class for the believer, sad to say, but we do have some who have dropped out. All right. We do have some who cut class. We do have some who shoot hooky. Some have even been kicked out. As a result, they are no longer participating in active Christian learning. Some have cited their reason for not coming back is because of the people in the church. Church folks are the worst folks. Some have stated that they can't understand the pastor with the these and thys of the King James Version. Some have cited crooked, fallen preachers as the reason for them not participating in active Christian learning. In our text, physically, Jesus and the disciples are on the same boat. But in reality, they are centuries apart. He gave them a spiritual warning which they misinterpreted because of their material mindsets. They would ultimately get there, but they're not there yet. They were slow learners. This is why Colossians 3:2 says, set your minds on things above and not on earthly things. Judging from his words, and I quote, do you still not understand? As a master teacher rabbi, he has become visibly frustrated, but he did not give up on them. He just classified them as slow learners. They still had a long way to go. They were fidgety and distracted. If they were living today, they would be diagnosed with ADHD. But Jesus seems to scream out through his teaching methods, please be patient with them, because I'm not through with them yet. He knew when he chose them that they were slow learners. He would not abandon them, he would not forsake them or give up on them. This reminds me of Philippians 1:6, when Paul says, I am certain that God, who began a good work in you, will not finish it until the day of Jesus Christ. Learning difficulties aren't new. A number of historical figures achieved success with the same type of learning disabilities. Disabilities about spelling, writing, math, and concentration difficulties. The same situations that face our students today. In fact, many geniuses and innovators have excelled in the area most affected by their disability. Men like Charles Darwin, the father of the theory of evolution. Those close to him knew of his poor grammar, atrocious spelling, and idiosyncratic punctuation. Historians claim that Darwin stuttered and suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder, as well as mild dyslexia. According to Darwin, he was considered a very ordinary boy below the common standard of intellect. Now, before he became the most influential scientist of all, Albert Einstein suffered from Asperger's syndrome, which made him socially awkward. Evidence shows that he had difficulty communicating clearly and delivering notoriously confusing lectures. Many believers believe that Einstein suffered from dyscalculia, a mathematical learning disorder that allowed him to see numbers and formulas differently. Before he became the founding father of our nation, George Washington was known for his pronounced learning disabilities. Historians say that he had dreadful grammar, difficulty expressing himself, and poor skills in reading and writing. But although some believe his writing showed dyslexia, it certainly didn't affect him as a leader. The evidence that you are a slow learner is the way that you act up when things don't go right. You've been in church 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And every time the similar situation comes up, you still fly off the handle. I declare that you are a slow learner. This story about the first century church is exposing the fact that many have eyes, but only few have vision. Can I go deeper? Yeah. Vision is the active power of imagination. When you apply vision to the future, you create a mental picture that can be used to direct your actions. Vision serves as a guide and can be used to provide a sense of purpose. Without an imagination for the future, you have no vision. So where there is no vision, there is no future. When you can't imagine, it is impossible to prepare for the future. If you can't prepare for the future, everything catches you by surprise. When you keep going through similar situations without preparation for what is to come when the conditions are similar, the screaming rhetorical question in your direction is, do you still not understand? This text exposes the fact that everybody in the boat with you are not necessarily going in your direction. They don't have the same vision that you have. This is why even some of your closest friends and family members can't figure out, because even when it looks like you're going down, you keep rising up. Yes. Watch the movements of the writer Mark. In Mark chapter 6, Jesus feeds 5,000 with 2 small fish and 5 loaves of bread. Some of us are surprised that Jesus fed 4,000. In Mark chapter 8, Mark goes on record to say that Jesus comes back and he feeds 4,000, this time with a few fish and 7 loaves of bread. Notice the significance of 12 baskets left over. 7 baskets left over. The conditions are similar. As I think about the feeding of the 5,000, I remember that this food was for a little boy who had been sent out probably to do a day's labor. This was his lunch. They ended up in the hands of the Savior. And with that, he was able to feed many people. As the disciples gathered the leftovers, nothing was wasted. 12 baskets of leftovers. 1 for each disciple. I wasn't there. But obviously they had not eaten. And Jesus didn't intend to do another miracle for more food. Y'all didn't get it. Let me try it again. They fed the 5,000. What are the disciples going to eat? They're going to eat the leftovers. Okay. I suspect that He made them grab the leftovers because he was trying to teach his disciples that the leftovers are for servers. I know that hurts. Let me try it again.
Yes.
In Mark chapter 6, they said, we have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish. That's what the disciples said when Jesus told them, go give the multitude some food to eat. 5 loaves and 2 fish. I know that doesn't seem like much, but you've been there and you've done that. You just don't know how. Let me see, can I remind you, the day my mother died, I felt like all I had left was 2 fish and 5 loaves. So all I have left is just enough, and it won't carry over to the next day. Have you ever felt like that?
Yes.
It's when life hits you so hard that you got to take an L and gather all the pieces together and declare that this is all I have left. And what I have left is not going to cover what's ahead of me. When you have 5 loaves and 2 fish, you began to feel overwhelmed, powerless, helpless. I feel like more is being asked of me than I can give.
Amen.
I don't know what to say. I'm afraid. I'm sad. I'm exhausted. I'm lonely, and I'm in a deserted place.
Amen.
All I have left is these 2 fish and 5 loaves. I know that I'm a believer, but just for one time, can I be selfish? Just so I can take care of me? Everybody keeps pulling from me. I'm not used to borrowing. I'm used to lending. Now I found myself in a situation where I don't even have enough to make up the difference. And I don't have enough to handle what I have before me. Let me begin while saying this. Let me tell you what not to do. Let's not sit around waiting for Jesus to magically give us more bread and fish. I got to go there today. That's probably not going to happen. Besides, the problem isn't a lack of bread and fish. It's a lack of vision. It's a lack of imagination for what could be. It's a lack of compassion for others and ourselves. Let me see, can I help like you? We are who we are today. As healthy as you are, not one black person in here has survived without eating leftovers.
All right. Come on now.
You are who you are today because you warmed up some food
Yes.
that we had yesterday.
Yes.
And some of us the day before.
The day before. Dressing.
That's what the disciples were looking at. Jesus has made it a spiritual decree that if you take care of others, he will take care of you. Jesus told the disciples that the greatest among you shall be your servants. He told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep.
Yes.
So in Mark chapter 8, after Jesus feeds the 4,000, the disciples who put their hunger on pause so that Jesus could perform a miracle for the multitude found themselves in the middle of the boat, crossing over with 7 baskets and 1 loaf of bread. Okay. The conditions are similar. It looks like we have done this before. But here's the problem. Last time we had 12 baskets and bread for everybody. This time we have less fish and 1 loaf of bread.
Oh.
Okay. So they began to feel anxiety because they don't know how they're going to make it with less than what they used to have. I'm preaching to somebody today. Was Jesus telling them that up until now, you've been too selfish. You need to learn how to share. When you had the 12 baskets, nobody needed to share nothing. But now that it's 7 baskets and 12, how are we going to divide this? And all we have is 1 loaf. Now, we're not talking about Mrs. Burns. 1 loaf is like a biscuit. But all we have is 1 loaf of bread. What are we going to do, take a bite out of it? How can we eat fish with no bread? You ungrateful so-and-so. Could Jesus be telling them that you need to cut back on your caloric intake? Was he telling them to go on a diet? He was giving them a hard lesson. Make do with what you have. Could it be that he was trying to teach them the lesson? The last time you bit off more than you could chew? Oh, God, let me get deeper. So many of us are not content with what we have. Amen. So we go out and we create bills past our income. And we sit there complaining, waiting for Jesus to perform a miracle to cover our bills. Oh, yeah, lock that door. I know it hurts. But some of us get in over our heads. And we call on Jesus to perform the miracle. Oh, I know it hurts, but somebody say, preach, young man, preach.
Preach, young man.
Yeah, I believe I will. I don't know what they ate that day. All I know is that Jesus didn't go in and make more fish and bread. They had to deal with what they had in front of them. He didn't do a miracle on their behalf. But here's what they didn't understand. The leftover fish, Brother Russell, was miracle fish.
Right.
Y'all gotta, okay. They had the blessings in their hand. This was the same leftovers that Jesus had blessed. Okay, do you still not understand? Are y'all slow learners? Let me see, can I help y'all? You know that you don't understand when you start complaining about miracles. With everything that you put in your body, you should be dead. It's a miracle that you're still alive. God. This is the day, not for you to feel good, but this is the day that the Lord has made. And I will rejoice and be glad in it. Everything that you did to yourself, you shouldn't be here. It's a miracle. Because we don't understand miracles, we don't understand how we can survive with 2 fish and 5 loaves. So I got to continue to help. We say it all the time. Any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. But do we really mean it? Our ancestors recognized leftovers as miracles. If you grew up like I grew up, you didn't get a fresh meal every day. We're not going out to eat.
Mommy, wake up.
No, we ain't cooking no more. Kitchen is over. Okay, that dish towel is over the sink. Sink is clean. Stay out the kitchen. No, you're not getting DoorDash. You better go in there and warm up that same food from yesterday. With the money that you get on a fixed income, it's a miracle that you didn't have any food at all. Do you still not understand? You must be a slow learner. Oh, I got to teach harder. Bread was significant to Israel.
I'll take a picture.
Israel was known as the house of bread. After the fall, Adam was cursed with these words. Watch this, Brother Howard. By the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread. Bread was introduced for survival means after the fall. Jesus, still in preaching mode, he takes the opportunity to warn them about the leaven of the Pharisees, which was their unbelief because of their hard hearts. But that went right over their heads. They were too hungry. They're so caught up in their hunger that they didn't heed the warning. So Jesus appears frustrated as he's trying to get this through their thick skulls. Can't you see Jesus looking down, shaking his head? Don't you get it? You can't connect the dots? We just went through this. Oh my word, I'm dealing with slow learners. Have you ever felt that way?
Yes.
Have you ever raised a kid up like that? Or maybe you was that kid that was raised like that. Wednesday night, Sister just reminded me during Bible study that growing up, the slowest learner in cartoon history was Wimpy. Wimpy, who obviously got paid on Tuesday, would always want a hamburger. He said, I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. And when you gonna learn to save your money and quit begging? Some people just need extra help to understand.
Right.
Listen, you can't keep spending up all your money and going to get payday loans.
Come on now.
Oh.
Lock that door. Some people need it broke down. Listen, you just need to get a job. Then you'll have money. Some people learn hands-on. How many times you gonna let him hit you upside your head before you learn? You must be a slow learner. Do you still not understand? The problem with the disciples is that they focused on the resources outside of themselves, and Jesus focused on the resources within himself. His compassion, his love. He's not calculating the math. He's calculating the possibility of the impossible. Jesus is saying to his disciples, why in the world are you arguing about how you are going to get fed? Why are you in a tizzy of anxiety about how you're going to make this happen? These were they who rode with Jesus on the boat, slept, talked with him. They were looking at a bread issue, trying to solve it without the power of Jesus. I know I'm talking to somebody today. Your bread is short. Your change is strange. When you go looking for a miracle, when Jesus is trying to teach you something, you can have more if you focus on me. In addition, God has worked miracles through them. They've seen Jesus walk on water. They've seen him change the weather. They've seen him cast out demons, healed hundreds of people, raise the dead, and create bread and fish from the palm of his hand. They listened to him teach over and over again. They had private conversations with him. But they were still ignorant and blind. They didn't know who Jesus was. They were not connecting the dots between having one loaf of bread on the boat and the miracle bread maker in the boat. And just like the disciples, us. Remember last year when you were on your bed of affliction? He kept you in your right mind when your loved one passed away. He watched over your kids and your grandkids. You prayed, you cried. He paid your bills. Even when you acted a plumb fool, he still blessed you. And you mean to tell me that you can't connect the dots? Do you still not understand? Stay in class, baby. I guess you're just a slow learner. Here we go. Jesus is scolding them right about now. This is a shame because you've been with me the whole time. Watch the text. He said, do you remember when I broke 5 loaves and fed the 5,000? How many baskets did I have left over? Huh? No, that's the NLT. That's the New Living Version. I'll keep that in there. But they said, we had 12. He said, remember when I fed the 4,000? 7 loaves? How many baskets you have left over? They said 7. He said, now you think that I did all of that and I'm going to let you starve?
Right.
Okay, can I get real? Can I get real?
Yeah.
All right. The first time they had 12, right?
Right.
1 for each disciple. The second time they had 7. Could it be, Brother Russell, the first time They ate up all their little basket and their little bread and didn't offer Jesus nothing.
Yes.
Could it be? Because it wasn't 13. It was 12. One for each of them. And I imagine they got fat and full that day. Ate back and didn't offer Jesus nothing. So Jesus must be testing them. What you gonna do with 7? Since you don't know how to yield, he said, I'll take it away. Watch this. The Lord give it, and the Lord take it away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Here we go. If they were smart, okay, they would have summoned Jesus. Just came in and said, do what you had done when we was on the shore that day. Y'all didn't get it. They have fish left over. One loaf of bread. Similar situation. All they had to do was put it in the hands of Jesus. And say, do what you had done like you did last time.
Yeah.
Okay. If they were smart, but how? In Mark chapter 8, they would have put it all in his hands. Got the napkins. Sat down Indian style in front of him. Tucked it in that shirt. And looked at him and started singing, bread of heaven, bread of heaven, feed me till I won't no more. They would have put it all in his hand and said this and that. I put it all in his hand. And then you're up in age. This ain't your first time being broke. This ain't your first time being diagnosed. This ain't your first time being unemployed. This ain't the first time that a boo left you. But every time you are down the leftovers, you try to figure it out and you panic. Like this is all I have left. Instead of saying their grace over their food, which is what they should have done, they're sitting there like Chris Tucker on Friday, complaining. Man, y'all ain't never got 2 things that match. Peanut butter, no jellyfish, no bread. I just had to throw that in. Y'all wake up. Let me help somebody right now. The next time you're worried about how you're going to make it,
Yes.
you need to make a withdrawal from your memory bank so that you can deposit it into your future.
Yes.
The same God that did it before is the same God that will do it again.
Yes.
You need to start gazing in the sky and imagine how the children of Israel walked over on dry land. You need to start looking down at the troubled waters and realize how that bridge was built when you had nothing to build. You need to look to the sky and understand that my imagination is the reason why Jesus keeps blessing me. Because if you can't think it, it will never happen. When you get through daydreaming, I need you to shout out my favorite rhetorical question. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Y'all didn't get it, did you? I know it looks bad right now.
Yes.
But if you can just daydream, look up in the sky, and imagine what he can do, you would declare the victory right now. Look at somebody and say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Okay, I got to help y'all a little more. Okay, I got it now. I was a slow learner. Do I have any slow learners in here? Don't raise your hand, embarrass yourself in church. Okay. Like the disciples, it took me a lot of years to get it. To be where I am today. But here's the shout. Once you get it, nobody can take it away from you. You can't make me doubt. I know too much about it. Yes, under pressure I'm cool, calm, and collected. But that doesn't mean that I have arrived. Yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm perfect. But if you see me weeping through the night, pay attention to the smirk on my face. Because I know that joy comes in the morning. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Yeah, if you trying to drive me crazy, pay attention to when I lift up my hands. That means Jesus take the wheel. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
If you're trying to do me wrong on Monday, Don't be offended if I look into tease you.
Yes.
Because I know that this too
Shall pass.
Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
If you're trying to attack my character and my integrity, don't be surprised if I go to Psalms 27:1.
Yeah.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? I ain't afraid of now one of you big brothers. Why? Because God is on my side. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
If you don't want me to be on your side, fine. If you don't want to help me, fine. But don't get mad when I look over your head. Because I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. And my help comes from the Lord. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
I might be a slow learner, but I'm still in class. That means I refuse to give up. I refuse to be stressed out. I refuse to be depressed. I refuse to throw in the towel. You will never catch me laying in a fetal position, sucking my thumb, 2 forms of medication. Somebody said that's not going to happen.
It's not gonna
I might
happen.
be a slow learner, but I'm still in class. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he lift you up? Won't he turn you around? Won't he place your feet on solid ground? Won't he put food on your table? Won't he give you hope and sorrow? Won't he give you joy for tomorrow? Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he?
He'll feed the 4,000. He'll feed the 5,000. He'll feed 1 million at my table. Somebody say, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he? Won't he? Somebody say, yeah. Say, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a slow learner, but I'm still in class. I'm learning every day. I might have flunked last week, but I'm still in class. Somebody raise that hand and say, I'm a slow learner,
I'm a slow
but I'm
learner.
still in class.
I'm still
God
in
bless you.
class.
May he keep you.
Thank you, Pastor.